Episode number 799. But I don't have a personal mechanic.
You're listening to the official BNI podcast with BNI founder and Chief Visionary Officer, Dr. Ivan Misner. Stay tuned for networking and referral marketing tips from the man who's been called the father of modern networking, along with suggestions and insights into getting the most from your membership in the world's largest networking organization, BNI.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the official BNI podcast. I'm Priscilla Rice, and I'm coming to you from Live Oak Recording Studio in Berkeley, California, and I'm joined on the phone today by the founder and the Chief Visionary Officer of BNI, Dr. Ivan Misner. Hello, Ivan. How are you, and where are you?
Hi, Priscilla. I'm back in Austin, Texas. I just got back from Necker Island and spent a week with Richard Branson, and I'm sure I'm going to be talking about it in some future podcasts, and I'm going to have some blogs on it. Branson's an amazing man, and I enjoyed my time as I always do.
Oh, gosh, I'm jealous as I always am.
Hey, so I have a guest today. My guest is James Wilson. James is a founding member of the BNI Dream Team chapter in Derby, Kansas, and he's been a support director consultant for 2 years in the Kansas area. He's a member of the Worldwide Director Consultants, which is a BNI global power team of 43 BNI members representing over 30 countries. And their purpose is to share best practices and connecting chapter members throughout the global BNI network. James began his career in the collision repair industry in 1986. James, you've been doing this almost as long as I've been doing BNI. And he owns ICS Collision Center with his wife, Tara. Am I pronouncing that right?
That is correct. Absolutely.
And they deliver safe and proper repairs for their clients. James, welcome to the BNI podcast.
Thank you, Ivan. It's a pleasure to be here, both with you and Priscilla today.
It's good to have you here. So you have a topic that is really important to me, and it just drives me nuts when people don't do what you're about to talk about. Tell me why it is important to have your BNI Connect profile completed.
Well, I believe first and foremost, if you do not have your BNI profile filled in, then fellow BNI members are unable to find you and unable to refer you for the services that you offer.
Yeah, and listen, this is so important. I remember when I moved from LA to Austin and I wanted to search for some BNI members. And I went to BNI Connect to find BNI members. And there were a number of people that I was looking for, and they didn't have their profile completed on BNI Connect. And to me, it's like taking a half-page ad out in a newspaper and leaving it blank.
I would agree with you 100% on that.
It makes no sense. I ended up hiring a real estate agent here in Austin, which I have now done about, I think, 13 or 14 real estate transactions. Christy Krause. Christy, I'm calling you out. What a great real estate agent. She was the only residential real estate agent 8 years ago who had her profile completely filled out. And that's why I hired her. And I've done at least 14 transactions with her as a result.
Wow. Wonderful.
What makes you bring this point up? Why is it that you're saying the profile is important?
Okay. Well, it was pre-COVID, and I was hoping to share this story at our national convention earlier. But the reason being is I was able to send a referral to a mechanic in Austin, Texas. And it was basically a blind referral because outside of yourself, Ivan, I don't know anyone else that lives in Austin. And how this started out was here at our facility, one of our niche markets is working on recreational vehicles, so campers and RVs. And I had a young military couple here that had recently purchased their RV. And within just about a month of receiving it, they had damaged it. They brought it to us, we repaired it. And then I found out that when basically the husband was going to be stationed overseas for 6 months. And during that time frame, his wife was going to take her girlfriend and 2 young children and travel across the United States for about 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
And the interesting thing is I want to put her mind at ease, and I asked her to contact me directly if she had any issues with a camper while traveling, because I had a network of professional business owners that I could contact had any issues, or would any issues arise while she was traveling. And so 2 weeks after she had
Mm-hmm.
left, she had contacted me and stated that she had a water leak on the inside of the vehicle, on the inside of the camper. And I asked her where she was at, and she's like, "Well, we're in Dallas right now, but we're leaving Sunday for Austin." I say, "Great, let me reach out to my contacts in Austin. I'll find out who you can take it to that I trust, and we'll take care of it from there." And so she thanked me for that. And at first I panicked because I'm like, I really don't know anyone's down there. I'm like, I can't pick up the phone call to call Ivan, but let's go to BNI Connect, right? That's the tool. That's our resource as BNI members. And so I did that. I went in there and first started searching for RV repair facilities. Unfortunately, there were none listed. And I thought, well, second best would probably be an auto mechanic. And I started at the top of the list. Again, I don't know anyone in Austin. And I just started at the top of the list, how it populated. And I went through profile number 1. It wasn't filled in. Went on to profile number 2. It wasn't filled in. Went to 3, 4, 5. Number 6 was not completely filled in. And lo and behold, lucky number 7, his profile was filled in.
Mm.
So I was able to, I picked up the phone, I called his mobile number, left a short voicemail for him, requested that he call me back. And he called me back about 10 minutes later and said, "Yeah, absolutely. That's something we can take care of. Where is she going to be at in Austin? Because I have 3 locations." Found out the address, gave it to her. He's like, "Hey, yeah, this one's like 5 minutes away from this location. So just have her be at this shop at 8 o'clock on Monday." And I told the mechanic, I said, "All right, if it's anything related to the side of the vehicle that we worked on," I go, "do not invoice our client. Just invoice me directly."
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Sure, no problem." And so after about 48 hours, I had not heard from either one of them. So I called my client. She said, "Yeah, he was fantastic. Got me in, got me out real quickly." I go, "He didn't charge you, did he?" And she says, "No, he did not." I said, "Great." So then I called up the owner of the shop and I said, "Well, my client said you didn't invoice her. So if you would just send me the bill for repairs you did." He's like, "Oh, well, there's no charge for this. It was just simply a loose hose clamp." And I thanked him graciously and numerously, because here's the thing: at the end of the day, had the other 1 through 6 BNI members had their profile filled in, I would have gladly referred to them, and beyond
Yeah.
that, I would have gladly written them a check for even tightening a hose clamp.
Yeah.
And here's my take: is at the end of the day, if you do not have your profile filled in, you don't have your photo, you don't have your basic contact info, it just seems like you are not taking your BNI membership seriously.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, think about it for a moment. You're going to a meeting, hour and a half every week, 50 weeks or so a year, and you don't take an hour to complete your profile. It's crazy, you guys. If you have not completed your profile, at the end of this podcast, you need to go to BNI Connect and complete your profile right now. I've been talking about this for I don't know how long, and James, I agree completely. I'm glad you have allowed me to bring it up again.
Absolutely. And to your point of taking the hour to fill it out, I hear it numerous times throughout the week from members where they say they don't have the time to fill it out. And I said, "Well, do you have the time for referrals?" And they're like, "Absolutely." I said, "How about this? Do you drink coffee or tea in the morning?" And most of them do. I say, "How about when you're taking your 10 or 15 minutes to have your warm cup of Joe, that you just log into your profile and just fill out one section. Just baby step it one section at a time."
Yeah.
Guess what? After a week or two,
Yeah.
you'll have it completely filled in. And that
You
usually
have it
gets
done.
them motivated to do that. So
Well, listen, I know you have a lot more to talk about, and we've got to wrap up our time. What would you have done if you were not a BNI member? I know you wanted to talk about that, and I want to make sure we have time to do it.
absolutely. And thank you. That's a great question. What would I have done? I honestly don't know what I would have done. I would have probably gone old school and just started researching shops, mechanic shops, within the region that were close to her zip code, and then just cold called. But the terrifying thing is I wouldn't have known who I would have been sending my client to.
Right. There'd be no trust level to begin with.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And without that, I don't know if that experience would reflect poorly, or if it would reflect good on myself as a business owner, who prides himself on taking care of his clients.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, James, what a great story, and I really appreciate you sharing it. Is there any closing thoughts you have before we wrap?
Closing thoughts, I would just kind of put the icing on the cake here and follow up with what you said already, is just encourage all members to just take the time, fill out your profile, fill it out completely. And then beyond that, I always encourage everyone to do a review at least every 90 days,
Yeah.
because life changes, life happens,
Update it.
and you don't want to be caught. Yes, you want to update it. You don't want to be caught in the middle of a one-to-one conversation and find out that PD, their favorite dog had passed away a year prior to that. So it's always good just to be able to sidestep those landmines by having your profile updated, as well as completed.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. And BNI, by the way, for those of you listening, we're working on the website search function. You're going to see improvements over the next year or so. So be looking for that. Make it even easier to do searches. James, thank you so much for being on the BNI podcast. I really appreciate you being here.
Absolutely. And I truly appreciate your time, Ivan, and yours as well, Priscilla. It's been an
Okay,
honor.
thank you.
By the way, everyone, James's website is icscollisioncenter.com. He's a BNI member. And thank you, James, for being on. Priscilla, back over to you.
Okay, great. That's it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. This podcast is sponsored by MeisnerAudioprograms.com. These audio programs will provide you with the tools and inspiration to powerfully enhance your BNI experience. So check out the great material that's available to you at MeisnerAudioprograms.com, and then use the promo code IVAN50 for 50% off of everything. All of the proceeds go to the BNI Foundation. Thank you so much for listening. This is Priscilla Rice, and we look forward to having you join us again next week for another exciting episode of the official BNI podcast.